side for a little bit and filed a little bit down because it gets really dusty and dirty. So next time we just kind of put this together real quick here and it'll be better for you. But as you can see now, he is flatter than he was before. I filed it back down. You can see his arms better now, and his skirt I filed it around, and his legs. So this part here has to use a different type of a file to give his soldiers. So I don't know how you say that word. This. How you say that, Bobby?
Shoulders.
Yeah, shoulders down a little bit. But you can tell now he's coming into a little bit of form. Sometimes you can they stand up on their own, or you can make little platforms out of it. Sometimes I'll cut a little piece of this cottonwood out of it and leave it bare, and then that way you can see what it's made out of and set them on top. But this is the way it goes. And then to do the next thing to do is I got to get a little bit smaller file. Back then we just used like whatever we had. A lot of them were made by, actually this is my dad's really old knife. It's a K-bar knife or a western knife he had. This thing he's had for maybe 60 years. My father, Walter Howato, you can pull him up. Walter, W-A-L-T-E-R, last name H-O-W-A-T-O. You can pull him up on Google. He was a pretty well-known artist. His dolls were a lot bigger dolls. He didn't make these at all. But they were a lot bigger dolls, like some of these. This one here is a home dancer I made for my granddaughter a few years back. But look at the size. You can see how small these really are. This is like a medium-sized doll. And we have bigger ones. I think I showed you last time. But this is a home dancer. This is the Katchina that is the last dance that they do, usually around August, before they go home to Flagstaff at the San Francisco Peaks. What they do is they bring corn, and then on the corn they would have little dolls, and which the dolls were meant for the girls. They give them to the girls, and then they would bring bows and arrows. Some of the bows and arrows are for children. I have some back there. No, there's one right there. They gave those. I don't know if you could reach it or not. It's that red one right there, Bobby. If not, that's what I'll show it later. But anyway, see that red one right there? That's a kid's bow and arrow. That red one right there. Yeah. Okay. This right here are the kids' bows and arrows that this Katchina brings to the boys. This one right here. And then they make the little arrows, and this is what the kids learn from. Kids use these for hunting little rabbits and whatever. But most of the kids would save them. They'd hang them up on the walls, and as you got older, they'd be collecting whichever Katchina brings. You would collect. They'd have quite a bit of these, and sometimes they would sell them, for tourists, because even though they wanted to keep it, they needed a little money. Back then they would sell for like $25 or $20, and now they're worth a lot more than that because they were brought by Katchina. You just don't make them for yourself. You make them for this Katchina to be part of the family that would bring these to the boys. And then he would also bring these type of dolls or other dolls like this to give to the kids. And then he would bring food, watermelons and corn, especially corn. And that's what he would bring for the adults. And what we have, piki, which is a corn ground down, made out of corn, and it turns green, and they put it on a real hot rock, and it turns into like real thin, and then they would roll it up with this rock that's about 600 degrees. It doesn't burn their hand. And they put it on there and they fold it up and make piki. And piki has been used for many, many moons. That's the food that we would carry when we went hunting, because it doesn't rot out or it doesn't go bad. It stays good, so you can eat it. It's almost like eating cornflakes but rolled up. And I don't have any of that. It's very, very hard to get a hold of that. During some of the ceremonies the ladies do still make them, but this is a bow that the boys would get as he brought them, and also Katchina dolls. And I just wanted to show you one of these compared to one of the real bows up here, but this is what they would have for the boys. Yeah. And this is a real eagle feather. This is my wand for my prayers and stuff that I make for different types of ceremonies and stuff, which I make some, but not like this. I'll show you those sometime. Which I make little things to try to sell to make just a little bit of money. I don't really I don't work anymore, so I make little things that whatever I can to sell them, and then when I do have a show, I take whatever I have, and it helps me pay for gas and stuff to get to some of these shows. We're going to have a show coming up on February in Sedona. I think it's February 9th for MoonCon. We're going to talk about the star people, and I'm going to talk about werewolves. I'm going to talk a little bit about werewolves in a little bit too, not a whole lot, but I'll talk about the werewolves and things like that. Different entities that came from the ground or lived below the ground for many reasons, in any way. So these are so this is where I'm at here. This is a home dancer. This is my granddaughter. I have to do a little work to it. It fell and broke his leg, but I got to fix it. Anyway, so what we do then is I got a little file here, because this is kind of a hard part to get to, so then I just file around the edges with this type of file, and what it does is it gets underneath this shaft right here that they put like this here. This is made out of the pine tree. It goes around here like this. That's what this one is going to be, like that one. I get done with it, and then this right here is kilt. So let me show you right here. This right here, this bottom part along this edge all the way around here is a kilt like this one. It goes all the way around. Every one of these symbols means something. Clouds, rains, the village. It talks about the women. So all of these designs go on here, and they all mean something.